What could you create if you had 30 minutes to plan and 4 hours to build? Today on the show, we're challenging 3 teams of developers to build apps that have unconventional inputs, meaning they can't use the keyboard or the mouse to operate the app. They're gonna be building with codename Goose.
I run the AI does not run me.
I broke something and I had to revert.
The unconventional input was actually the easy part.
What is happening?
Code TV after hours.
Welcome to the Web Dev Challenge. How's it going? You ready for a little challenge today? All right. Today, your challenge is going to be to build an app that has unconventional inputs. The way that somebody interacts with your app is going to be something other than the keyboard and the mouse. To do that today, we're going to be working with codename Goose. To talk a little bit about what codename Goose is, I'm going to welcome up our advisor for today, Angie Jones.
Hi, I'm Angie Jones. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I work at Block as the VP of Engineering of AI Tools and Enablement. A little bit about Goose. Goose is an open source AI agent. It runs locally on your machine. It's available as both a desktop application as well as a CLI. So you can use either one. The configuration is the same between them, okay? Other things about Goose, very extensible. So that means it can work with any LLM of your choice. It is also an MCP client, so you can connect it to any of the thousands of MCP servers out there to give it even more superpowers. Advanced feature is an internal sub-agent system. So Goose can work as an orchestrator for you if you want to use sub-agents to move faster or to handle different tasks. Goose will spin those sub-agents up and then direct them on your behalf. They can run in parallel or sequentially. You let Goose know what you want.
So everybody clear on the tools? We're gonna start with 30 minutes to plan your application. Your 30 minutes to plan starts right now.
Oh my God. What do you think we should do?
I asked Jay if I could do hardware, so I brought a bunch of little like sensors and things.
The Nano Banana MCP uses UV. I think we already have also, so
Yeah.
like getting
Python people.
KCD,
Learn
set up.
Python.
Luckily you don't have to because we have LLMs. We don't have to learn any
Yeah,
sort of
that's
Python.
true. Who needs to learn things
We're
anymore?
Python experts.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Joel.
Hi, my name is Kent C. Dodds. We are the Epic.
Epic Geese.
So we're gonna make it so that the AI can create a story, but not just like, of course it can make text, but this is the way that it's gonna interact with us in a
Hear me out.
different way.
If you have kids, reading them stories is a real pain in the ass. So instead, we're gonna get Goose to tell them stories for us so that we can completely eliminate that aspect of our lives.
What's the tech stack you're gonna use today?
Goose.
Yeah.
Goose, upside down, sideways.
We got some 11 labs. We got a little bit of Nano Banana from Google.
We're gonna sprinkle a little MCP on there as well. I've been working with Goose a lot recently. They are one of the only clients that supports MCP UI.
I am tenacious and stubborn and do not take any bullshit from an AI. I run the AI does not run me.
I don't fully understand what they're planning, but it sounds unhinged and I'm here for it.
Subagent.
Something that I was thinking about earlier is like how fun would it be if like pretend there's something on your screen and you have to roll it somewhere, and so then you could use the onboard like accelerometer to get like the tilt, right? And then we could find a way to play with that as the way that you navigate the app. Like imagine you're trying to roll something around on the screen.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Andrew Ziegler.
Hi, I'm Billy Jacobson. We are planning to make a rolling marble game version of Supermarket Sweep. So instead of having to, use a normal interface to shop for your groceries, you're gonna have to roll your phone around and try to collect what you can get.
We're gonna divide and conquer. I'm gonna do the front end, and we're gonna do it most likely in React with Vite to make it nice and lightweight.
For the back end, we're using Firestore so we can get some real-time interaction with marbles, have multiple players. I've been working with codename Goose to prepare for this. It's been good to figure out, okay, what is Goose best at? How am I gonna make it do what I need it to do?
I feel great about the idea in my head. do I feel great about how well I can communicate it to the LLM? That's what we're going to find out.
Altogether, they've got a fantastic idea. I think it's ambitious. I'm really curious to see how they pull it off, but I love the thinking behind it.
Air pressure is interesting. Sound, we're going to do the sound. I can eventually solder something that we can wear or something if we have time.
Okay.
So I think like MVP could be this.
And then stretch goal would be like.
All the other stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm Leon Noel.
Hi, I'm Erica.
Team name is Team R.C.
If you know, you know.
You know, you know. So we're both educators and we teach folks how to code. One of the biggest things we're facing right now is when folks first start, they don't come and ask us for help. And so with the prompt of new inputs, what if the AI knew when our students needed help?
So I'm good with web development on JavaScript, TypeScript. So that's going to be the stack. And Leon is doing Arduino scripts with sensors and stuff.
I gave Goose wild permissions to my computer and it started changing files for me. It just felt like magic. Very excited to play with it more today, see if we can make some of that magic happen for us as we're building, but yeah, it's been fun.
The concept behind it, the thinking behind it, I love it because that's one of the hardest things for juniors, especially remote juniors, is you don't feel like you have permission to ask for help. You don't want to bother anybody. So if we can use technology to help send a little signal to get them support when they need it, that's a huge win.
I'm gonna call our app AI Storytime.
Not Goose Daddy.
Goose Daddy. Yeah, we're gonna call it Goose Daddy actually.
We'll have 2 hours to like clean it up, add extras, stretch goals, stuff like that.
I'm giving Goose this challenge because I haven't built an extension before, and let's see if they can figure it out. Let's go.
So we have to get that working first and foremost.
Yes.
Getting the rolling marble demo, and then getting everyone in the same rolling marble demo, and then the rest of this is just dressing,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Wow.
All right, everyone. Everybody's ready to rock? How y'all feeling?
Great.
Good? Good? So, we're gonna start the build phase. You're gonna have 4 hours to build the apps you just planned. Your 4 hours to build starts right now. Did I hear my name?
Make me a project for an MCP server. Boom. Goose is gonna do this for us.
Yeah, Goose is gonna do all of it. We're just gonna be sitting here chilling. I'm gonna eat candy and watching Goose work. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do.
Oh yeah, once that I should probably have.
And right now, what are you writing it to?
What do you mean?
Like, what are you storing?
Storing what? The events? Like, what do you mean?
Like, right now you're just getting the tilt. You're not doing
Yeah,
anything.
I'm not
Okay.
managing any state.
Got it. You know me. Data.
Data.
You making a MCP, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we're gonna have MCP UI to show the story.
And so this will have the MCP UI.
Yeah, so you'll be able to just say
wow, I
like,
like that a lot.
tell me a story, yada yada yada, and then it'll make it and then show it in
Visual.
MCP UI.
Oh, man.
That's so cool. All right. So it's definitely like, it has to have a little bit of smoothing to it to like figure out what the baseline is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's coming back down now. That's cool.
Wow. Okay.
All right, so it's working. I didn't think it worked that well. That's pretty wild.
Where would the user wear this?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Okay. This is prototype. Okay. This is prototype.
How's it going?
So far we have all the different parts of what we need. Goose was really good at assembling like the basic demo of the tilt experience and getting like a basic view of that going. And then we're right now in the process of simplifying it. As we were building and ambitiously adding things to Git, we started obviously hitting conflicts with each other. Something that we're finding challenging is keeping our geese in sync with each other. So now we're taking the parts we have, we're making like a new V2 folder. We're gonna go like hide out in it, right? Like let's reduce the scope of everything we built, and we're gonna bring in those parts that we have working now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
app.
The unconventional input was actually the easy part.
Yeah, getting the unconventional input going was great. Now we have to turn it into something people can play.
So far we got some of the sensors working that we want to use. So our goal is to have the students' heart rate be an indicator as to when Goose needs to take the wheel. And so right now we have the sensor that can read their heart rate, and if it detects that the heart rate's going up, so we try doing that for you here. You can see it, the stress went up.
Hella stress.
Goose take the wheel, and so that'll do a keyboard command right now that we have tied to the code we have running over here.
Yep. And I asked Goose to write me a VS Code extension. So this is what you're looking at here. And it did it pretty quickly. Now I'm just kind of tinkering with when the user is stressed, I wanted to call Goose so that it helps them with the code they're currently on. So, yeah.
The goal is eventually that the sensor picks up on it and then does it for them automatically.
Hey guys,
Hi, Angie.
how's it going?
So I pivoted a little bit and,
Okay.
and thought this could be an all ages, more inclusive product.
Yeah.
Instead of strictly aimed for children, you'll still do a children's book. And basically, like right now, I made a Goose recipe. It's called Create a Story. Take some parameters so you can configure it that way. And when I kick it off, it's using a couple of extensions, 11 Labs, Nano Banana, and it's going to ask me for a prompt. It takes a second. So it's deciding what it wants to do. And the idea is that we don't want our keyboard. We have to obviously fire it up because we're in development right now, so we fire it up with the keyboard. But then after that, give me a light-hearted story about bananas that grow legs and arms and sprout whiskers out of their face. So it takes that, and then it's going to take that as the prompt. So you use your voice to generate a prompt, and it goes through a whole process, and it kicks off subagents and uses the different services and kind of builds out this story. And then the idea will be, it's going to go over to Kent, and we're going to return this in a form where they can actually consume it.
Yeah, then it'll show you the story and maybe have a way to share it on social media and
nice.
stuff potentially too.
Very nice.
It's like Thanksgiving dinner. So much Goose.
And then it's just like what happened is when I added, or rather I have the items appearing on the screen, I'm gonna swap them for images. When I added this though, it's not recognizing the thing, so it's just a React thing that I'm fixing.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the rolling store functionality working. And then it's like we're gonna be able to start putting these pieces together and it's working.
I want a story that makes Cormac McCarthy's The Road seem like a tale of hope and inspiration. Make it bleak.
You know that's just transcribed, so like being enthusiastic doesn't end up changing the story.
Hi, friends.
Hello, hello.
How's it going over here?
Right now, I mean, actually Goose is working as we're talking, so there's like a non-zero chance this is just going to break while we're talking, which is amazing. So we have the store. This will be the store. You can imagine some items here, and now you have what represents the players within here. So this is somebody on their phone. In this case, it's me. So I can roll over here and roll up here, and that's how I'm controlling and shopping in the store. And so we're going to create the actual store next. He's been working really diligently on all the back-end stuff that orchestrates that store and that effect.
So I think one thing that was so nice about Goose is that I was able to just spin up a whole custom admin panel to start working with everything.
So this here on the right, this is your custom panel that you had Goose build for you?
Yeah, I was like, I want to be able to just like manage the game state, see it all in real time, and like start running the functions.
That was a clever idea to, like, I never would have thought to myself, like, you know what'll make me faster is building an admin dashboard. Like, that's usually the thing I would do last. So
Right.
It's a clever game.
Yeah, so it's like I can click run the game, it'll start putting items in the game, each of them gets to live for like 3 to 6 seconds, and every few seconds it'll keep adding more items, each at random locations. This is the problem I'm working on right now is I have too many database IDs that are all wrong. It can accurately calculate the price of everything, I just can't find anything.
Got it. Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out, do I want to do that or do I want to have Goose figure it all out for me?
All right, y'all, what's going on in here?
Sensors are working. We're able to kind of get a baseline for the heart rate and for whether or not you're screaming.
The photoresistor is for your heart rate.
A really janky heart rate. The
Got it.
idea being that more blood going through your finger means your heart rate's higher, which means less light hitting the photo cell there.
Got it.
And then
the sound sensor's pretty self-explanatory.
yeah, you just yell into it. Yeah, so if we have it running, it takes kind of a baseline for a few seconds. Let me put my finger on the sensor. And then it's going, and then since we're talking to you and like I'm hitting the table and stuff, you can see it spiking off the baseline pretty easily. And then once we chill, it'll go back and then we can fire it again.
All right, and then what are you working on over here?
I'm working on a VS Code extension that picks up this sensor and helps the user fix their code when it gets triggered, when they are stressed. So this is the extension right here. So let's say they have an issue and they don't know how to fix it. They get a little more stressed. That's gonna trigger this click. Goose starts thinking, fixes the issue.
Okay, cool.
And then it also like tells the user like what was the thing that was wrong with your code. So here that's what was wrong, and that was the fix. So.
What are you working on?
So we have a story generator, and it could be appropriate for children. It automatically detects based on your tone and the kind of genre that you have selected, what kind of story you want. This is the process where Goose is going through, and at the end of the day, makes a checklist, goes through it, and outputs kind of this final file.
So what's
Well,
left?
so right now he's running it through the terminal, but we need this to be accessible to consumers.
Sure, okay,
And so
yeah.
we're going to actually, all of that is running in Goose through
Right.
the CLI. So it will also run in Goose, the desktop app.
Cool. So what's standing between you and the end? You're gonna load up the video, and then
It's time to cross the streams.
Yeah, gotta
All right.
get those streams crossed.
well, I'll leave you to it.
Yeah.
Good luck, y'all.
Thanks, Jason.
But it's very
We can export
I do.
this place, right?
Yeah.
No. I don't believe it.
Is that
All
what
right, y'all. That's your build. That's the end of the 4
That's
hours.
the end of the 4 hours.
That's the end.
Okay.
If this looks like fun and you want to give it a try yourself, we are running a hackathon right now where you can build your own app that uses unconventional inputs with codename Goose. And you can submit it to win prizes, meet some new friends, get something in your portfolio, and just generally learn something new. Head over to this URL here for details. So we made it. We're here. It's time for demos. And since you're already set up here, why don't we have Leon and Erica kick us off?
For too long, AI has been bound by clicking of a keyboard, the use of your voice, but by now it should know when you're stressed, when it needs your help most. And that's what we've built today. So with our contraption here, it's going to take a look at when we're at our lowest. If we yell, Goose should take the wheel. If our heart rate rises, Goose should take the wheel. So we're going to try a demo and hope all the sensors are still connected correctly. Ah! So as you can see, Goose heard the spike of my yell and has currently kicked into action, looking at our code, which was a function missing its parentheses. It's already identified the code. It's recorded our stress level. And now it's figuring out the best way to fix the code so that we can be less stressed.
I feel less stressed.
You feel less stressed already, right? Exactly. And so you can see, boom, Goose is taking the wheel and fixed the code.
So actually, Goose wrote this VS Code extension, And it wrote a lot of things in this. I was very surprised at how well it did this. I've never written an extension before, so that was exciting. So I did connect it to the VS Code MCP that comes with Goose, and it was able to, I also wrote a recipe to let it go into the file and see where the user is currently working, and then use that to fix the code.
You don't need your fingers anymore. You don't need your voice anymore. Just need some weird Arduino stuff and you're ready to rock and roll.
And a high level of stress.
And a high level of stress, exactly. Cool.
This is the code for the extension. This is the file that actually writes the UI for the VS Code extension. I did have some issues where I asked it to use a specific recipe, and it made a whole new recipe, and it wasn't using the one I originally wanted it to, so I had to restart, and then I realized that was the issue. But yeah, we just kind of asked it to look at the line that it's working on and just start changing things without asking us about it. So we are not inputting anything. It's going to be working based on the stress monitor.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Arduino code is pretty simple. It's just reading the values directly from the photocell and this little sound thingamajigger here. The Python script is a little cheeky because what it's doing is we just have a specialized keyboard command. So instead of having to tie the Python to what we were doing separately, because I was working on this, they were working on the actual Goose stuff, I just have it trigger a keyboard command that's tied to the VS Code extension that we have. And so our students, which we made this for, could, while they're in VS Code, just click the button saying, I'm stressed. It would take the wheel and do it for them. But it's also logging how many times they felt this way. It's logging how many times that event happened. And so I think long-term for us, it'd be really cool as the instructors to see how many times our students felt stressed when they were going through an assignment, when they were going through any of the homework, so that we know, all right, we need to review this material, not review this material. And so I think actually it's kind of silly with the Arduino stuff, but long-term I could see this being the way that we implement AI in our classroom.
That is cool.
Very cool. I didn't expect you to have a practical outcome.
Yeah.
The practical use case for that kind of stress analysis, or using AI to like sense that, or using like ambient sensors to then provide somebody assistance in a time of need, I think is really kind of interesting, and something that's an idea you could expand on to, like great effect. It would be a great use case for the technology in general, I think. Yeah, so we wanted to tell stories and have Goose help us tell these stories, and the idea was that as busy parents, we want AI to replace part of our parental responsibilities and actually tell stories to our children when we're not able to. So we used a combination of AI services all coordinated within a Goose recipe. And a recipe is basically like a structured prompt that you would give that has the instructions and details and tools and configuration that you would need, and you can just run it from the command line as a single, like a one-liner, or in this case we're using the Goose desktop app to run it, and it looks something like this. You get all these parameters, so you can pass in parameters to your recipe, and there's a bunch of them in here that you can set. And when you start the recipe, it comes in here, and we're going to send. And it goes through all this. The alternative interface here is it's going to ask me to speak and say what the story is that we want.
So this would be like our kids saying, I want a story about such and such.
It would be, hey, Goose, give me a story. Or, hey, Goose Daddy, give me a story. So that's running. This actually takes quite a while. The inference and the generation takes a while, so I have one that's done over here that we can look at. It goes through, and in the background you'll see that one working while I flip through this one. And it goes, generates a story. So it's actually generating the text to the story, and then takes that text and generates sound effects, and generates a series of images. So here we have Captain Zara, and then runs through and just kind of generates this full thing to where at the very end of it, it produces a video and serves that video on a local HTTP. And what we want to do, and this is where Kent hopped in, was to use the MCP UI, which Goose is one of the I think, is there
It's-
another? It's
yeah.
basically the only way you can use
Yeah,
MCP
biggest
UI,
one.
which lets you basically serve up UI like I guess it could be a React page or
Yeah, anything, any HTML. It's iframe basically. So
Yeah, so at the end of that, this is what that looks like, right? Like, so you get your output, it comes up, you have MCP UI, and then you get,
Captain Zara's fingers traced the jagged edge of the debris. Twisted metal gleamed against the star field. Something was wrong with this wreckage. Too precise, too intentional.
and this one's fine. I'm going to show a different one though. So these are from my tests, and this one is called Freaky Kent Story.
Kent's test suite passed perfectly, every assertion green, but the code he was testing didn't exist anymore, deleted hours ago. His IDE auto-completed functions he'd never written. Variables appeared with his exact naming conventions.
my naming
The cursor
conventions.
moved without his touch. The pull request merged itself. Commit messages wrote themselves in his voice. Kent C. Dodds committed, I am becoming the code. His reflection in the monitor flickered. Pixelated. His face now rendered in React components. Use state hooks replacing his eyes, blinking.
Yeah, anyway, so it will make a story. It will make stories for children also, or,
It depends on the prompt.
and if they ask for it, they get what they deserve.
Yeah.
Literally 100% vibe coded. So, like, I don't know necessarily how interesting.
Yeah, it's hard for us to describe something that we didn't build.
I'm just gonna keep flipping through until I give away all of my keys. Yeah, so like this is a series of Python scripts, which I've written Python. It would take me like 6 days probably to write one of these and have it actually work. So there's like the video server, validates project. There's
These are using Gemini for the like the nano banana thing for images, and then 11 Labs for the voice and sound effects, and the Python scripts are just managing that. And then Goose actually runs a bunch of subagents to run all these different scripts.
And this is like the prompt itself is bonkers because it's like trying to, the first 15 minutes we're like, success, we have it, it's telling stories. And then the rest of the 3 3/4 of an hour was spent trying to contain the AI and have it do it consistently and not make us sad in the end. Yeah, mostly just cursing at the.
Oh, that is true. If you saw his prompts.
Yeah.
And then that was my first time seeing MCP UI in action. That was very cool. The idea of having embedded iframe components within the chat conversation, I think, is where this is going. For our demo, for unconventional inputs, our idea was to use the phone and rolling around on the phone to control something on the screen instead of clicking or using your keyboard or tapping. So to do that, we facilitated a web game that we can all play together. Very simple, but it does work as of now. So if you actually want to get out your phones.
Knock on wood, would you say that?
Yeah, and scan our QR code. I'm going to create a room for all of us to jump into. And then that'll appear on your room list. So go ahead and give yourself a name. And then when you're ready, jump in. This was so much fun. So you can see people are dropping in. And basically, once you are into the demo.
And you'll have to click Enable Tilt Controls because iPhone requires that a little bit.
Correct. So once you have it tilting, you can roll around on the screen. You can see we're all in one little thing together. So from here, some of the stuff we were working on was getting things to, buy. The actual store to interact with was going to be the next stage from here. But we did get as far as having the rolling the rolling demo on the screen.
And we're all interacting in real time, all on the same.
Yeah, so this is streaming over a WebSocket server, just locally on our local network. So we just have it spun up, and we're using Firestore to keep all of this data. And it's actually really cool because while I was mostly hacking away at getting the device orientation stuff working on the screen, Billy was working on some really cool stuff in the back end that he's going to show you next that just isn't connected to this display here.
Yeah, let's check it out. So we've got. Well, first we can go into the database just to see all this stuff happening. So all of the interactions are being stored in Firebase, and that's how everyone's connecting. So in real time, you can see the X and Y's are updating as you're moving. Or I don't know one of you is doing it.
One of you is rolling. One of you is rolling around.
So this made it so easy for us instead of having to code a whole thing. It's like just out of the box, Firestore let us connect to everyone. And Goose, we just told it, here's our API keys, our config, and then it was able to integrate that into Andrew's app. So as we built out from there, then I went and tried to make a whole database of items that we were going to go shopping for. And one of the ways we paired everything out was I went and made my own little dashboard so I could control the items and the game state. So here I would click run game. It would add, Halloween's coming up, so we wanted to do all sorts of spooky costumes and items. So we'd have candy appear, and this all has the locations and the price. And in the end, we both had all of the parts working. We were just trying to figure out how to connect everything. And really, the scope creep wasn't the issue. It was how do we work together on all of this?
the teamwork component, and then
it wasn't the scope creep. It was you.
It was you who did it, Billy. No,
I mean it was me.
So some stuff that we did to help keep it on track, right? So the best thing to kind of reduce the confusion would be to write out the instructions for what we want to do. So that was really critical at the beginning whenever we're working with these tools to establish what we're going to build and write it down in the spec that it was shared immediately from the beginning. And then from there, what we actually did is we had Goose brainstorm some potential sub-agents that could implement part of this application and whether or not they needed to work in parallel or sequentially. So to get everything that you see here working, I didn't write a line of this code. This was entirely vibe coded by Goose, and it did that incrementally by starting with the interface and then the networking that he had set up. And then he used Goose to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's like I was able to kind of take Goose and make agents that were going to handle creating all the items there. And I was like, write a script that's going to do these item generation. I also used the Nana Banana to generate all the images for the Halloween costumes and stuff like that. So it was interesting saying figure out how do you make this part work.
But something that really helped along the way, actually, while was having a devlog file.
Yeah, you have a lot of great instructions in here that are making it along the way. As you add a new thing, add a to-do, add a description of each thing.
Exactly. It's like you hit a major issue, and then once it solves it, instead of just continuing the conversation, writing down explicitly what the challenge was, and then when it found the issue, how it fixed it. And having this document of the devlog helped future agents stop from getting derailed, and actually probably saved me a lot of cycles.
We meet all the time. We're always talking about how do you build out these AI tools to actually make software, and it's you're not a software engineer anymore. You are a manager of a team of software engineers, product managers, designers, and it's a really interesting and different way to start thinking about building stuff.
Yeah, I've done the hackathon thing before. I felt like I was doing a different role at the hackathon than in the past because I wasn't writing any of the code. And when I would get deeply stuck, it wasn't my own stupid code. It was someone else's stupid code.
This one.
Which was amazingly insightful because, if you ever tried to debug a pull request from someone else, reading and fixing someone else's code is really hard. And the same thing with vibe coding. And so it's important to have that context shared.
I'm surprised that they were able to pull off a multiplayer game in under 4 hours with all the pieces coming together. That really blew my mind.
Like I said from the beginning, there wasn't going to be a lot of struggle outside of dealing with the AI.
Sure.
Yeah, but he definitely put the AI in its place. You got to see those prompts.
You really got to tell them what's up. You cannot just approach these AIs and oh, please, master, please.
That's how I do it.
It's not like that. Do the work.
Seeing some of what other people did with Goose kind of expanded my mind on what Goose is capable of doing.
I really actually liked the Goose's ability to parallelize the sub-agents. I thought was a pretty cool feature where you could, if it was appropriate, you could spin up 6 sub-agents to tackle various tasks.
Going through the entire experience being what am I learning right now? I feel like I wrote down a lot of stuff that I'm going to take back to working with these kinds of tools. So that went really well. I learned a lot today.
It's all about learning these new tools to solve a problem better. But as you're first starting out and getting comfortable with it, it's there's a little bit of the friction. But then once we really were able to let it go, it's really impressive what we're able to create.
And it makes me think about how these tools are going to be evolving, and that I think we're going to be seeing a lot of these embedded user experiences inside of our AI chats really soon.
I really like Goose Daddy because I kept hearing all the wild creative stories throughout the day, and it was 4 hours to build such a complex mix of things. To get an output of a story in video form was really cool to see.
The different teams were really cool to see throughout the day. Not even just the end product, but being able to see within 15 minutes they had the stories going, and it was hilarious. And then seeing how a multiplayer game comes together and all the challenges they had and the different builds they had throughout the day was really neat to see.
I was so blown away by how practical what Leon and Erica built was.
Yeah.
I think, the premise of it, of yelling in the computer or doing the heart rate thing, that's fun, and it absolutely satisfies the prompt. But the core of what they built, what a brilliant idea! Truly kind of blew me away how much value they were able to create with the software they wrote today.
All of these really advanced features of Goose came into play today, and I was really warming. That warmed my heart to see folks use these things, find them and use them.
Should I do the joke?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, this goose is cooked. That's a wrap, everybody. If you're enjoying watching this and you want to see us make more content just like this, please consider becoming a Code TV supporter. For as little as $5 a month, you are able to help us support the creation of new shows just like this. Head over here, find out more.
You do have the pen in.
We're steering into it. You know what? I accidentally I left my pen in earlier when I was doing the intro, and so now we've just decided the pen's a fashion accessory now. It's like Nelly's Band-Aid, just rocking it. I feel like I should defend the pen because I did not mean to wear this pen in my hat all day, but when we first started the episode, none of you bothered telling me that I had left the pen in my hat. So I decided I've been forced to pretend that I meant to do this, so I'm wearing the pen. I expected to catch on, everybody. This time next year is gonna be wearing a pen in their hat.